he healed the blind, he cured the sick.
Moses did similar things. There are Israelite prophets who did similar things.
Through God, yes.
Yeah, through God. So is Jesus.
But Jesus
through God.
is God.
No, Jesus is saying
through him.
Jesus said, I can of my own self, listen now, I can of my own self do nothing. This is Jesus speaking on earth. I can of my own self do nothing. It is God who gives me the power. Okay, I'm paraphrasing. Yeah. Okay, now, if Jesus himself is telling you that he has no power of his own, his intrinsic power, why do you keep insisting otherwise?
Because he does have power as well. He has risen.
So you're not listening to him.
He's on the right.
You're not. If I'm telling you I'm a historian, if I tell you I'm a historian, and you keep insisting, no, you're not a historian. You are the Prime Minister of Britain, and I'm telling you, no, brother, I am not. I am a historian. And you keep insisting, no. We're gonna give you the respect for being a Prime Minister. We don't want to listen. That's what you're doing to Jesus.
I believe Jesus.
No.
You pray and Hashim.
I'm gonna have to go and I'm gonna have to pray because I'm praying.
Just that. Yeah. Prayer time, as you know.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So he'll just be 5 minutes. I'll carry on.
Yeah, but these mics.
No, it's fine. I'll hold it.
So I'm please keep looking for references.
Just pray and come back. There's the prayer.
For direct references for the divinity of Jesus Christ. If Jesus is God, we want to worship him. If he's God, and we know he's not God, because there are so many passages, okay, in the Bible that tells you that. Okay, Christians for the last 2,000 years, they have insisted otherwise. They have, out of the stubbornness, their spiritual, experiences, their emotions, their attachment to the church, whatever. People have different reasons for believing in different things, right?
No, just pray there 5 minutes and come back. So look, his approach is very biblical. What we were speaking about is more to do with dreams as sources. Because I don't go to the Bible and try and explain why a particular passage is not Jesus or Jesus is not God. That's not my area. But I'm more like, I'm of the belief that the dream that you saw, it should not be your reason for Catholicism. It could be, if anything, showing you Buddhism wrong. And it could be that you misinterpreted it as meaning...
Why would half be right but half be wrong?
Go over the part again that you talked about the stream, that there was a stream and...
So it's like, so you're looking at the river of life, it stretches as far as the ocean, but it's flowing. And then you have, the city of man come down. The first one is, you have the Pope on a pedestal, lands on the water, you're wondering, it's going to sink, it's going to make it, and it just about makes it.
Right.
The place itself, some city of man comes down, or the worldly city, and you have Dalai Lama on a pedestal, that's the religion I wanted. And the water goes on the city streets, you think it's going to sink, but just as you think it's going to make it, a whole tidal wave as high as mountains stretching from horizon to horizon comes and wipes it out. And I wake up and it's like, oh. I was quite afraid as well, because I prayed for the truth and I was given this. I was like, okay, it's not the one I wanted, it's the one I didn't want. But I can't do much. It's like you pray for truth and you're shown something.
What if I was to
should I then, if I'm questioning it, am I not questioning God then? Like if God has shown me something.
Okay, is it not possible that what you were shown was something by the devil to turn you towards Christianity rather than Islam? Because one of the things about Islam, which I'm sure you've been reading the Quran, is that worshipping Jesus is unacceptable. You should only be worshipping God. You see, and if you think about it, Jesus himself used to bow down to God and worship God. Like in the, I forgot, in the Garden of Gethsemane or something.
Yeah, he prayed and he went down.
And you know what? That's very much like a Muslim prayer, isn't it? The way he put his head down on the floor. So, isn't it safer, Cyrus, to die worshipping God alone rather than worshipping Jesus as God?
Well, you see, we believe we do worship God alone. That God is a Trinity, the single Trinity. In a way that, say, a family, husband, wife, and child is one unit. We believe God is one unit made up of a Trinity. And that they're inseparably linked.
Is that something that the Bible teaches, or something that was later on in the Treaty of Nicaea?
Well, it's like forget his name. He was asking for
Adnan.
explicit text.
Yeah.
There's nothing explicit that say there's God the Father, Son,
exactly,
Holy Spirit
exactly,
like that. Whereas you can definitely infer it from God the Son, God the Father, the Holy Spirit is in there as well, and it all comes together quite nicely.
So, if something is true from God, why does it need to be interpreted 300 years later at the Treaty of Nicaea?
Well, I don't think it was interpreted 300 years later. It's just 300 years later was the first time the Christians could actually get together without being persecuted and actually talk about their faith and decide what are the heresies going around that they should avoid and what is the actual truth. What did the apostles read them like? What had Jesus taught them? What did the people who knew Jesus and the apostles read the text they liked? That's the first time.
Couldn't it be, Cyrus, the case that what you're calling a heresy at the Treaty of Nicaea, the Arianites and the others, they could have said that, well, this is a heresy and we're on
Oh,
orthodox.
sure, they would have done. Of course they would.
So how do you adjudicate?
Well, you go back to the sources. Like, what were the people who knew Christ writing? What were they reading? So there were the apostles who had the Gospels. There were the people who were taught by the apostles and became bishops, who made their own writings.
But they had lots of theological differences.
over time.
Yeah.
Right. But the people who came up with the heresies, they weren't actually taught by the apostles.
Well, St. Paul never met Jesus.
And we believe he did in the road on the road to
Oh, in the dream. Yeah, so carry on.
You can hold on to the mic so that
I am.
we can both be
I
heard.
mean, look, if you carry on with him, because I'm not well versed when it comes to
I
history.
think you're more well versed.
No, I know these basic things.
Okay, so for example,
I'm using these
so
basic things because
one
they are so basic.
Yeah, one small point. I said Jesus never met Paul. That's true,
Yeah,
right?
I would say
Yeah.
Jesus did meet Paul on the road to Damascus.
Well, that's because you are believing in the testimony of Paul. Paul is otherwise an unknown, insignificant character. In fact, if
I'll put
anything,
on current.
yeah, I mean you're laughing, but
Well, I mean, he was a conversion machine.
okay, conversion machine to what? Not to
At
the
first
not
he was
to
persecuting
not to
Christians.
the message of Jesus Christ, to his own version, his own gospel.
No, because in his letters to the different churches, he's saying, "Don't worship me or Peter."
Of
or
course, I know
worship Jesus."
this. But Paul is shown to be a hypocrite, even in the narrative which seems to have come from his own followers. For example, in the book of Acts, we read about Paul in his life, and Paul has been preaching throughout the Gentile world that you don't have to follow the law of the Israelites.
Yep.
You don't have to follow that law. You don't have to circumcise. You can eat what you want.
right, it is,
Okay, you don't have to follow those dietary rules.
Yes.
Having done all of that, Paul comes to Jerusalem. And in Jerusalem, he's attacked by the zealots of the law.
Yeah.
And these are the Jews,
Yes.
the Israelites. And they are very angry with him. Okay? And they accuse Paul of abolishing the law. Paul, for some reason, denies it.
No, because the law wasn't abolished.
No, it was when they say abolish, Paul did say the curse of law is lifted. That's Paul. But wait. Are you aware Paul said that?
Yes, but
Okay.
there's a context.
This is what those.
There's a context to it all.
They don't care about his context.
That's the problem.
No, the zealots in Jerusalem don't care about his
Well, I know,
context.
yes.
Exactly. So what happens? Paul is taken to who? Are you aware?
To first the
To Jerusalem Council.
first to the rabbis and then to Pilate.
No, forget
Not
the
to
rabbis.
Pilate.
The Jerusalem Council.
Yes.
Who are they?
Well, they were rabbis, Pharisees.
No.
Sadducees.
He is taken to the Jerusalem Council. Who are they?
They're the leaders.
They are the disciples of Jesus Christ.
Oh! Well, no, hang on. No. At the point where he's attacked by the zealots, then he's effectively arrested and taken to the governor, right?
No.
It's before that he
Wait,
goes.
I'm
to
talking
council.
about, no, it is after the accusation. He's taken to James. You know James?
Okay, so when you say attacked by the zealots, not physically attacked.
No, not physically.
Okay, now we're on the same level.
No.
Okay, so there was. So yeah.
They were going to be physical. The narrative gives us this impression that Paul was in danger in Jerusalem. That's why he was taken to James. So what does he do in
No,
James?
the narrative says he goes to Peter and James.
Trust me,
wasn't
because
taken.
you can find this in Acts 15 and Acts 21.
Yeah, there was debate about it,
Yeah,
and they go to Jerusalem
and what was
to
the
settle
debate
it.
about? What was the debate?
Whether you have to circumcise or eat.
Not only that.
Halal.
Not only that.
Halal. Kosher.
It was about the law.
And that too.
Yeah. So Paul was accused of basically undoing the law for the Gentiles. And the Jews.
Because there were some
and the
people who
Jews.
said,
And the Jews.
even as worshippers of Christ, you still had to obey the Mosaic
Paul
law.
was going to the Jews and the Gentiles and
Yes.
was telling them, Jesus died, we don't need the law anymore.
In a sense, yes.
No, not in the sense.
Yeah.
He was saying this categorically.
Of course, Peter had his vision that said, you know, you
No,
can
no.
eat anything.
Let's stick to the topic.
What God told Peter,
Forget
what
Peter.
God has made
Forget
is
Peter.
not unclean.
We're dealing with Paul.
Okay.
Paul had said to the Gentiles and the Jews, Jesus died. He's been crucified. He has lifted the curse of the law. Yes or no?
I don't know if there was the word curse, but okay, let's say it is.
100%. I take my word for it and check later.
Okay.
And if otherwise it's gonna take a lot of my time to pull out the references to
You
show
don't
you.
have to do that.
Okay,
I'll
I can
take
do
your
that
word
if you.
for it.
Okay. He said Jesus has died on the cross. He has paid for our sins. The curse of the law is lifted.
And he also said, anyone
Because
who
the
lives
law
by
is
the
a
law
curse.
dies by the law because you can't fulfill it.
Okay, so you're agreeing with me?
Yeah, in a sense, yes.
Yeah.
But I
no,
mean,
but
like,
you keep saying in a sense, but I'm saying there are categorical
I'm
differences.
trying to say he's like somehow refuted everything Moses did. And said all
No,
that.
I'm not saying that.
Oh, okay, sorry. Maybe
I'm saying the law is no longer applicable on those who follow Jesus.
That's right. Right. That's right.
Fine. This is what I'm saying.
You have the Ten Commandments. You have the commandment to love as well. But the Mosaic law is at this point fulfilled.
So
Not
we agree.
abolished, fulfilled.
So we agree.
Yes.
Right. And this is what he gets accused of in Jerusalem,
Eventually, yes.
and he denies it. How do we know that? How do we know that? He goes to James in chapter 21 of the book of Acts. We are told he's taken to James. James is the head of the council. James is the brother of Jesus, the very brother of Jesus,
Peter
who
is the
met.
head, but James is a leading figure.
James
Anyway.
is the leader of the Jerusalem church. James
Fine.
is the successor of Jesus Christ, as far as the disciples
No,
are concerned.
Peter is. You could be the head of the Jerusalem church. Peter is still the chief apostle.
James is the head of the Jerusalem council.
Fine. Okay.
Okay, that means he's the successor of Jesus Christ.
No, it doesn't.
Okay. Let's not debate that. That's gonna take us to on another tangent.
Well, he was an apostle and a bishop.
Well,
Anyway,
okay. Let's agree that he had a very high
was one of
position.
the three.
Yeah.
Peter and John.
Okay, so he had a very high position.
very high position.
Good. So Paul is taken to him to be judged.
The whole council.
The whole council, but James is the head of the council.
Yeah.
James questions him that people are saying this about you, that you have undone the law.
Because at that point, they hadn't decided
no.
whether, for instance, you had to apply the law or not, or to what extent.
No. Paul has already. You follow Paul, right?
Yeah.
Catholics, you are by default.
Paul was an apostle, and he was right. And in fact, Peter supported him.
So forget about those guys.
Peter supported him, and when Peter
Listen,
supported him, the whole church went with Peter.
you're jumping the gun.
Okay.
Let me stick to the topic. Paul is preaching against the notion of following the law.
Yes, because the law was fulfilled.
He's already done that.
Okay.
Jesus has died on the cross for years.
Yes.
He came to Jerusalem long time after Jesus has been crucified, right? He's already been preaching to the Gentiles and the Jews throughout the Mediterranean region that the curse of law has been lifted by the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. Just because Jesus died on the cross, we don't have to follow anymore. Right or wrong? You're making it longer than necessary. Seriously.
Because you're saying the curse of the law, like every time he spoke about it, he's saying
sorry.
it's a curse.
I'm not saying it. Paul said it.
He did say it once, but it's not.
But did he say it? Because you keep
Sure.
saying I'm saying it. I'm not saying
but
it.
He also said it's like the law had come to its fulfillment, right?
Whatever he meant.
And so
He
people-
said the curse of the law has been lifted.
That's right.
These are the words of Paul.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm not sure what the point is.
The point is, Paul was preaching throughout the Mediterranean world that anyone who believes in the death of Jesus Christ on the cross does not have to follow the Jewish law. Full stop.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so why are we making it longer than it has to be? Okay, so it's a very simple point. You get it, right?
Yeah. That's
So he
I
comes.
agree with, yeah.
So in the book of Acts, chapter 21, we are told he comes to Jerusalem,
Yeah.
and he's accused of this very thing we agreed on,
Yeah.
because he was doing it.
And then the council sides with
And now the council doesn't side with him.
Oh.
Okay, this is the point now. This is the point. He is rebuked, and he is asked, what these people are saying about you, which is true, by the way. Which
I think that's maybe the start of the meeting, not the end of the meeting.
we can read about the meeting. You want me to read Acts, the book of Acts 21.
It's okay.
Let me make my point. Let me make my point.
James, the same thing and come to different conclusions.
No, we won't. Watch. And I want you to respond to me. Paul has been preaching already for a long time that Jesus died for our sins.
Yes.
And we don't have to follow the Jewish law.
Yes.
Okay.
More or less.
He comes to Jerusalem, and the Jewish zealots who are still following the law, including the disciples of Jesus Christ, are still following the law. They ask him, why are you doing this? And he's taken to James. So James tells him, he gives him a solution.
He's taken to the council.
Yes. Okay, now I'm going to have to read it now. Sorry. I do apologize, but it's better that we read it. Acts 21. There you go. We're going to read it, so you don't have to dispute what's going on. Why is it not searching? My phone seems to have ceased. 1 second. We're going to read Acts 21, and we're going to find out exactly what happened. Okay?
So this part of the Bible, by the way, you believe, even though you're saying the Bible.
No. This is to me, none of this is important. I'm showing you. No, I'm showing you as a Christian, as a Catholic, that how inconsistent is your belief with the facts put down in your own scripture. You are very inconsistent with those. And it came to pass that after we were gotten from them and had launched, we came with a straight course onto cross. And is this Acts? Yeah, Acts 21, yeah. So it's a long chapter, and it goes down to Paul's company, and Paul departed, all of that.
You should get the Catholic
Then Paul
version,
answered.
it's easier to read.
Okay, sorry.
Sorry.
Okay. And the day following, Paul went in with us onto, and all the elders were present. Now this is the part I want to deal with.
Okay.
Okay. And when he had saluted them, Paul had saluted them, he declared particularly what things God had wrought among the Gentiles by his ministry.
Like the conversion.
Yes, yeah. Conversions. And when they heard it, they glorified the Lord and said unto him, Thou seest, brother, how many thousands of Jews there are which believe, and they are all zealous for the law. Okay. So Jews have believed in Jesus, but they are still following the law. Okay. Am I making this up?
No.
Okay. Okay. And they are informed of thee, you Paul, that thou teachest all the Jews which are among the Gentiles to forsake Moses, saying that they ought not to circumcise the children, neither to walk after the customs. This is exactly what Paul was doing.
Which he was saying.
Yeah, good. We're getting there. So they told Paul that this is what people are saying about you, right? Okay.
Correctly, by the way.
Correctly, exactly. Now let's see what Paul does. Okay. What is it there for?
Yeah.
They're asking him, what is going on, man? Right? The multitude must needs come together, for they will hear that thou art come. You have come to the council. Do therefore this that we say to thee, we have 4 men which have a vow on them. Then take and then take them and purify thyself with them, and be at charges with them, that they may shave their heads, and all may know that those things whereof they were informed concerning thee. Listen, wait. Concerning thee are nothing. Wait. So what the council tells him, that you have been teaching all of this.
We're conflating. I thought you were talking about a different part of the Bible.
Please. Let's make it more. The council asks him that you have been teaching all of this. You have been accused of this. Now what you do is, right? You go to the temple and you sacrifice. Wait. You follow the law. You practice the law, so that people know that these things they are saying about you are not true.
Okay, I was mistaken. I thought you were talking about another time when he comes to Jerusalem and they're talking about diets and stuff like that with Peter and James in the council.
Let me get an easier translation.
No, okay. Well,
King James is classical English, and but most people won't understand it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so at that point he was coming to Jerusalem. Word of him had spread everywhere, and the Jews pretty much wanted to kill him. So he was advised, we don't want you to die. Go with these four who are going to do some sort of penance. Go with them, do your thing.
So in other words, they were telling Paul to deny, okay, because they themselves were of the opinion that Paul is not teaching this. Because I don't believe why James, being a righteous follower of Jesus Christ, would lie to the people.
At this point, they were just trying to save Paul's life because the Jews wanted to kill him.
That's your understanding, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, but that's not what the passage is telling us. They are telling us, look, read again. So do what we tell you. There are 4 men.
This is a suggestion, by the way, not
with us who have made a vow. Take these men, join in their purification rites, and pay their expenses so that they can have their heads shaved. Then everyone will know there is no truth in these reports about you. What are the reports? That he is telling the Jews and the Christians living among Gentiles, Jews and the Gentiles, sorry, that you don't have to follow the law, the Mosaic law. Okay? Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Get the modern version.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
By the way, it wasn't an instruction, it was a suggestion that he goes with.
Let's see what happened then.
And he went with them.
Yeah. Then everyone will know that there is no truth in these reports about you, but that you yourself are living in obedience to the law, which is not true. He was not living in obedience to the law.
Not to the Mosaic law, that's for sure.
So that's what the law is.
Okay.
Okay. So what does he do? He actually agrees with them and goes and pretends that I am following the law. He does the rites, he goes to the temple, he does exactly what council commands him to do, and he goes and practices the law. In other words, Paul is a liar. He's a hypocrite. He's a lying hypocrite because he's teaching one thing to Gentiles and the Jews living in the Mediterranean world, and in Jerusalem when he's questioned about it and he knows that he's in trouble now, he goes and does the opposite.